Thanks very much for the patience, everyone. We appreciate you being here. As I indicated, Congress was in last night till 2 in the morning, and we're happy that all of you are off to an early start. We're glad to be here. Over a month ago, I stood here on behalf of the American people who were expressing concern about whether or not Congress was going to respond to the trampling of our Constitution that was going on, and the articles of impeachment that I introduced against the Vice President represented a response to answer the concerns of millions of Americans who have felt that the Vice President must be accountable for his statements, his false statements, which accelerated the United States' path towards war by false claims of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, of false claims of Iraq's connection to Al-Qaeda 9/11, and false claims of Iraq's intention of attacking. I want to say that his statements also with respect to beating the drums of war against Iran were another concern reflected in the articles of impeachment. Now, since we gathered over a month ago, the Vice President has continued along the path of conduct that led me to file the articles of impeachment. And I have numerous quotes here that I'll review with you later. But importantly, since that time, members of Congress Wynne, Lee and Woolsey, Clark, Clay, and Schakowsky have signed on. Congresswomen Lee and Woolsey, of course, are co-chairs of the Progressive Caucus, the largest caucus in the Democratic Party. And with us now and standing by my side is a woman who was the driving force in organizing Democrats to try to come up with a strategy to take this country out of Iraq. Congresswoman Maxine Waters' support on this issue is of national significance. She has demonstrated a capacity for courage and determination that everyone knows and that everyone respects. And I'm proud to have her join this effort. And I believe that this is another milestone with the support of the leaders of the Progressive Caucus and the leader of the Out of Iraq Caucus. We will see more and more members of Congress signing on in this effort to save our Constitution and to protect the very values that bind us as a nation. Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I come this morning to join with my friend and colleague and presidential candidate, Dennis Kucinich, in calling for the impeachment of Vice President Cheney. I believe that he has been extremely courageous in focusing on the fact that the Vice President of the United States has been one of the main architects of the war in Iraq. Not only has he been one of the main architects of this war, he continues day in and day out, whenever he has the opportunity, to speak about why we're in Iraq, to mislead the American public about why we are there. As I have gathered some of his statements, I would like to indicate that on September 8, 2002, he said, "We do know with absolute certainty that he," Saddam Hussein that is using his procurement system to acquire the equipment he needs to build a nuclear weapon. His statement on March 16, 2003, that we believe he has, in fact, reconstituted nuclear weapons. And his statement on October 10, 2003, that Saddam Hussein had an established relationship with Al-Qaeda. Vice President Dick Cheney is truly the poster boy for what is wrong with this administration. He is truly the poster child for the preemptive strike that was taken against Iraq. And truly, no matter what evidence is presented to him and this administration, he continues to weave the web of lies, the web of mismanagement, and the web of misdirecting this country and keeping us in that occupation in Iraq. And so the American people are not happy. In November, we had an election. And for those of us who happen to be Democrats, we got a message from the American people that said, bring our soldiers home, stop the occupation, redeploy, come up with the strategy that will end this war. And I believe that many of us have constituents who are disappointed, unhappy, and can't understand why the Democrats don't have more courage and why we've not been able to use our power to discontinue funding this illegal and this immoral war. And so, I believe that Dick Cheney is guilty of crimes and high crimes and misdemeanors, and that our friend and colleague who's here today and who's been there on the cutting edge of this issue is absolutely correct in calling for the impeachment. And for those of us who have signed on, we have waited long enough to amass the power to get rid of this war and to stop this occupation. And it's time now to step out of the box and to move forward. And I join with Dennis Kucinich in doing just that. We're calling for this impeachment, and we want our constituents and the citizens of this country to know that we're not going to take a backseat any longer. We're going to do what is necessary to help organize, to help bring to the forefront this issue.
Thank you.